ahead and introduce yourself in the chat box. I want to welcome you all this morning to this, this webinar on the FAO e-learning academy. We have today with us our colleague Christina Petracchi from FAO headquarters in Rome, who will provide us some information on that. So let me read Christina's biography first, and then we can move on. So Christina heads the FAO e-learning academy in the FAO partnerships division. She manages and coordinates the design, development, delivery, and language adaptations of an extensive portfolio of e-learning courses and blended learning programs related to the SDGs, nutrition and sustainable food systems, food safety, gender, women empowerment, food loss and food waste, climate change, sustainable management of natural resources, agricultural risk management, social protection, child labor, all for the benefit of FAO member countries. She's actively engaged in consolidating partnerships across different UN agencies, academic institutions and universities, regional organizations, NGOs, and this is all for capacity development initiatives. And she's also created a number of university master's and postgraduate degree programs. So today she's going to share with us the FAO e-learning academy and its alignment with the SDG Agenda 2030. And I'm quite interested. There was recently a launch webinar of the FAO e-learning academy, but Christina is also going to talk to us of selected courses that relate to FFS so that practitioners can improve their capacities and be able to deliver better services. So we thank Christina for taking the time to share with us the e-learning academy. I feel like this is a very great initial start to what will be some good partnerships working together in the future. We also have Suzanne Phillips. She's also from the FFS team in headquarters. She will also give us a brief overview of some initiatives that the FFS crew in headquarters is undertaking, especially in the development of an e-learning course. So we'll have some quick presentations this morning. You can feel free to type your questions at any time or comments in the chat box. I will be moderating. So we'll let those presenters, give their presentations and discussion, and then we will move into the question and answer following. So with that, I would like to ask our village elder, Max Olupat from AFAS, to provide a quick welcome remark. Max, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Ori, and good morning, everyone. Welcome to this webinar series, where we are really very delighted that we've continued to journey with the team from FAO headquarters. This is another unique opportunity that we shall be having a team from HQ joining the East Africa Field School Hub and the global FFS fraternity in continuing to discuss the issues of FFS, but also today more focusing on the e-learning academy. From the perspectives of the East Africa Field School Hub, this is a very important arrangement because we're also talking about quality assurance, accreditation, but you cannot do the quality assurance if the capacity of those you quality assure is not well grounded. So this will form a very good basis that we shall be able to use or make use of this e-learning academy to improve our own capacities, but also of our fraternity to be able to deliver good services to the farmers, but also to manage our own networks. So again, I want to thank FAO for this initiative, but also most importantly, our key actors who have continued to be regular participants of every Wednesday FFS webinars. From our side, we say we continue this journey, and if there are other initiatives of this kind, we are happy to continue partnering with the FAO headquarters. So I wish all of us best deliberations, active participation, and the continued follow-up after this meeting from our side so that we can update ourselves and operationalize some of the key actions. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Max. So without any further delay, Christina, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, everybody. Welcome. And this is an excellent opportunity to share with you the various activities that we are doing with the FAO e-Learning Academy, hoping that some of them could be of use to you and that we can foresee eventually collaboration with some of you. So I wanted to have the opportunity to describe a little bit what we do, what are the different methodologies that we use, and also what are the different partners that we can all benefit from. So just a few words on the Academy. So the first thing is that you can access it through the link that is here on the screen. And the idea, in order to face all the various challenges that humanity is facing, FAO has created the FAO e-Learning Academy that offers a number of multilingual free e-learning courses. So everything is delivered as a global public good, available to anyone, anytime, anywhere in the world. And the idea is really not only to transfer knowledge, but it's really to transfer skills and competences, which are needed for the professional profiles of today. So all the courses are actually competency-based, and I will be talking about this a little bit further after in the presentation. So we have so far reached 600,000 learners throughout the world, and we have also a pool of over 200 partners worldwide. And so just to give you an idea of the various thematic areas that are covered in on the FAO e-Learning Academy, we have a number of courses on food and nutrition security, on the Sustainable Development Goals, on gender empowerment, monitoring and evaluation, but also very important, nutrition and food systems, sustainable food systems. What is the relation between agriculture, food systems and nutrition, and the nutritional status of citizens? Also courses on climate change and climate smart agriculture, on trade, and also on agricultural statistics, but also on food safety, on food waste, etc. So I really invite you all to go and to explore the offerings of the Academy. So just, I wanted to also share with you some information about the 4 types of organizations we work with. We work with mainly 4 types of organizations. The first group is United Nations, but also development agencies, regional organizations such as ECOWAS, NEPAD, COMESA, SILS, and also all the various UN, so UNHCR, UNICEF. These organizations are all using our courses to basically develop the capacities of their own staff. We are also working with the universities and university networks, and we develop master's and postgraduate degrees where the universities integrate some of the e-learning courses, the FAO e-learning courses, in their learning programs. So this is another type, another group of organizations. Then we work a lot with NGOs and civil society organizations. We are also working on big networks of these NGOs. And we are starting now to interact with private sector. Private sector is actually showing great interest in the courses, and especially in compliance to the SDG, to sustainability, and they're very interested in thematic areas such as nutritious food, but also food waste, food losses, etc. These are the thematic areas. Just to give you a little bit more information about our learners. So this is the geographic distribution. And more importantly, what we can see with this graph is basically the learners affiliated institutions. And what we can see is that 25% come from NGOs, 20% are university and research centers, but also very important is that 15% are government and ministries that are using the courses to better orient and steer the policies. So this is very interesting data. So just to give you some information about how we work and the pedagogical models that we use and the learning strategies that we basically use 8 different methodologies. So we self-paced courses, the e-learning courses are one of the 8 methodologies. We also, as I was mentioning, have master's and postgraduate degrees. We also have created mobile learning programs. So learning programs which are fully compatible with mobile for audiences that are in remote areas, that are in isolated areas, and who need some crucial competences to be able to be operational in the field. We also do face-to-face intervention. Now we have had to replace those now with the COVID pandemic, but we also support normally face-to-face interventions. We also do certified tutored courses online. We also organize MOOCs. So MOOCs are massive open online courses. And I would like to add that for today, for this year, we are organizing 2 of them. One will be on nutrition and sustainable food systems towards the end of the year, and the second one will be on the forest transparency framework. So stay tuned. And we also do certified blended learning programs. So programs in which you combine different methodologies, in which you have online, in which you have face-to-face, in which you have a mentoring program, in which you have peer-to-peer support and learning. So we also do these programs, and we regularly organize international technical webinars with a number of partners worldwide. I also wanted to mention that among the various courses, we also have developed a series of courses on the SDG indicators. As you probably know, FAO is custodian for 17 of the Sustainable Development Goal indicators. So this means that FAO has the responsibility to follow the countries in the collection, the analysis, the interpretation, and in the reporting of these indicators. So we have developed also a series of courses related to that, and here they are. So these are the various courses that we have on the SDG indicators. So if you are interested in that area, we have the courses for the indicators that are under the custodianship of FAO. Just very quickly about the methodologies that we use. So we follow the ADDIE model. It's an instructional strategy model that is used for adult learning. But for me, what is important to convey is that every course we developed is developed together with the target audiences and with a very thorough analysis of what are the professional profiles that we are looking at. What are the professional profiles that are needed in today's world, and what are the specific competences that the target audiences need. So we usually always do curriculum design collaborative workshops in which we invite field practitioners, representatives from the target audiences, and also partner institutions to work with us to understand who the target audience is, what are their responsibilities, what are their actual job tasks, and by analyzing their job tasks, we then extract what are the knowledge, the competences, and the skills that these people need to acquire to better perform those job tasks. We do that for every single course. And for every single course, of course, the competences, the skills, and the knowledge will be very different because the target audience is very different, their job tasks is very different, and therefore the learning needs are different. So I just wanted to share with you the fact that we basically conduct every time for every course a very thorough analysis because our courses are competency based. They're not only knowledge based. And so as I was mentioning, for every course, we do this analysis of the responsibilities and then of the various activities, job tasks, and then we extract knowledge, skills, and competences that they have to acquire. And it is that part that becomes part of the curriculum. Um, so very quickly, when we design the curriculum, then the curriculum is organized into tasks, facts, concepts, principles, procedures, but we also always add the attitude and the interpersonal skills that are needed for a professional to be actually efficient and productive in its position. So in his or her position. So just very quickly to let you know, so it is very important to understand what type of content we are dealing with, because for each type of content, there is a different learning strategy that our instructional designers, so in my team, we have adult learning specialists, which are instructional designers, and then we have graphic artists and courseware developers. But it's very important to understand the type of content because based on the type of content, different learning strategies, that can be scenario based, it can be storytelling, it could be learning by doing. So the strategies will depend on the type of content we are trying to convey, so to make it accessible to anyone in the world, basically. Just a few words about, we have done a series of blended learning program. We have done a lot also in the context of the CABET program with NEPAD. And in this case, of course, the learning program had 4 components. Always the learning needs assessment together with our partners and with the target audiences. Then we had an online component, a face-to-face component, and then a post-workshop online mentoring phase where participants still had the opportunity to interact with other participants and have the advice of the tutor about the challenges that they have in their countries. So we do organize these blended learning programs also, for example, in Asia. We did some here and also, as I was mentioning, with COMESA, with SILS, and ECOWAS. And now just I would like to, before we conclude, to talk to you about certification. So this year we have become the FAO e-learning academy. Actually, we have been working in this field in the last 16 years, but now we have actually formally become an academy. And because we are able to certify, we are actually the official certifying body of FAO. And we use the digital badge certification system. So this system, the digital badge allows to certify the acquisition of specific competences. And this is actually extremely interesting. It allows a lot of flexibility. It is extremely useful because it increases employment opportunity, learning, of course, learning opportunities, but also employment opportunity. It allows to progress talents in organizations. So it is a very versatile certification system which is related to the specific competencies acquired. Before explaining how it works, I just wanted to let you know that the digital badge system is actually worldwide being used by very widely by private sector. For example, IBM, Oracle, Dell, HP. They are all asking their employees to come back with specific badges certifying specific competencies. But also UN, the UN agencies are now starting. UNICEF is also starting with this system, but and also big humanitarian NGOs, they are also starting with the certification system. So just to let you know how it works, once you earn your badge, it follows you in everywhere. It follows you in your LinkedIn, in your e-portfolio, in your curriculum. It becomes part of your professional profile. It basically certifies that you are competent in specific thematic areas and that you have acquired specific technical competencies. But not only technical, because as I was mentioning, we also deal with interpersonal skills and attitude competencies. So these are also part of the certification. So how does it work? Basically, after finalizing the course, you have the possibility to have a final test, which is a scenario-based test. Basically, it is not a test that is based on your memorization. So it doesn't ask you, do you remember what is the concept, or do you remember what is the principle? But it gives you a challenge. In this given situation, with all these challenges, what is it that you actually have to do? And this allows us to basically align the test to the competencies that are conveyed through the course. Once you pass the test, you earn this digital badge. So it is a graphical element which is actually database generated, and it has all the metadata with all the information related to you. So it has, of course, your name, the date, but the courses you've done, the issuing organization, but very important, the competences you have acquired. And this is actually an official certificate that can be part of your curriculum. So this is just to show you, these are some of the badges we have been developing in the FAO e-learning academy on the different thematic areas and the different courses. These are the ones that we have designed for the badges related to the Sustainable Development Goal indicators. And very quickly, I just wanted also to mention that we have, I wanted to share with you these 3 publications that could be maybe of interest to you. So the first one describes the different achievements of last year. The second one describes our methodologies, our pedagogical models, and really how we have moved into certification. And the third one describes also it helps institutions develop an e-learning component in their a corporate one. So which tools to choose, which professional profiles to choose, etc. So this is the third one. So now what I wanted to do is to try to better target what I would like to share with you. And I have selected a series of courses that could eventually be of interest to you, given your expertise and given the various activities that you have to carry out during your in your job. So I have selected first of all a series. We have a portfolio of 7 courses related to climate smart agriculture. So it goes from the very simple introduction. What does it mean to be climate smart? What are the various practices? What are the challenges? So this is, and then we go into the details of what you can do for to improve crop production, livestock, water management, soils and land management, and also fisheries and aquaculture and forestry. So these are courses that could be of interest to you. Maybe not all the lessons, but for sure the introductory lessons of these courses are really, I think, of interest. And then I went into, of course, monitoring and evaluation and impact assessment. For this area, I have selected 3 courses that I believe could be useful. So we have a course, of course, on how you develop a monitoring and evaluation plan in a food security and agriculture program. Another one on the qualitative methods that you can use for impact assessment. And then one which is specific on assessing the impact. So on impact assessment, and this one really covers, first of all the methodologies that are available, but also explains how do you formulate a program thinking about how you're going to assess the impact, what are the indicators that you have to use, what are the different methodologies. So the quantitative or qualitative or secondary data that you're going to use to do your impact assessment, etc. So these are a series of 3 that I believe could be of interest. Then I have selected other 3 courses which are more related to communication, advocacy. And so one is on collaboration and advocacy techniques. So this could be of interest. Another one on experience capitalization. Experience capitalization, this course teaches how to basically document our activities, our interventions, and to basically prepare, document the lessons learned, the issues faced, issues not to be repeated, and how to basically create your institutional memory and actually give more visibility to your work and to your institution by documenting your activities and by sharing it with others in order to allow them to adapt and to scale up, basically. So this is an interesting course. Then we have a course on communication for rural development. So all the various communication techniques that can be used to convey messages in rural areas for rural development, basically. Then I have also selected these series of courses which are related to nutrition. We have many more, but I have selected those that could be of interest. So the first one is a course that allows to identify the critical loss points within the food value chain. So how do I assess food loss along the food value chain? And how do I assess what are the critical loss points and how to basically address this? The second one is on the nutrition, food security, and livelihood, the basic concepts. And the third one is how to agree on the causes of malnutrition. So how do you understand what are the causes and how to come to an agreement, etc., in order to act and to have actionable recommendations. The fourth one is really a course that I would advise all of you to do. It allows to link agriculture to food systems, to nutrition outcomes and nutritional status. And it shows how everything is part of an integrated system and where you cannot just do changes and modify your actions in agriculture without considering the impact and how it conditions the food systems and after the nutritional status of citizens. So the fourth one is really one that I would advise everybody to do. The fifth one is about how to conduct a nutrition situation analysis. Then we have one on homegrown school feeding programs. So how do you run it? How do you manage it? And how do you assess the impact of these school feeding programs? And then the last one is, of course, sustainable food value chains for nutrition. How do you basically improve and improve sustainability along your food value chains, and make sure that they are nutrition sensitive. So these could be also of interest. I also believe that everybody should be aware of what are the Sustainable Development Goals. So we have an introduction to the SDGs. It is a very, very short course. It's a video actually. And I would advise you all, it takes 2-3 minutes, and it really gives you an idea of why it is important for countries to adhere to this framework, etc. Then we have the second one is on building a common vision for sustainable food and agriculture. What are the principles to talk about sustainability, etc. And the third one is extremely interesting on how do if we have land that is degraded, how can we recuperate the land? How do we restore the land? How can we actually what are the practices to better manage land? And then I have also selected these last two because it could be of interest. The digital libraries, repositories, and document is a course that we have done with UNESCO. It covers all the aspects of digitalization, of creating digital documents, and after, how do you actually create repositories that can be shared with others? How do you create electronic libraries, etc.? And then the last one is about creating communities. So it also talks about facilitation techniques, online facilitation techniques. What are the differences between online and face-to-face facilitation? And what are the various methodologies that you can use for group work and for consensus building? So that last one was selected for this. So from my side, this is what I wanted to share with you. I really hope some of the information was useful for you and is of benefit to you. And I will be now looking at with Ori about to answer some of your questions. But before doing that, I would like to give the floor to my colleague Susan, who will be talking to you a little bit about a course that we are jointly developing on farmer field schools. So Susan, the floor is yours. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hi. Okay. Good morning, everyone. I hope you can see me and hear me well. I'm Suzanne Phillips, and I work in the Farmer Field School Global Platform, together with several colleagues in Rome, in FAO Rome, but also across the world. Across the world, let's say, and so including in Eastern Africa, where with our colleague Ori and our colleagues from AFAS. So the Global Farmer Field School platform is a hub that is facilitated by the FAO, but which joins a lot of organizations that are involved in farmer field schools across the world. And the function is basically to facilitate a good quality of farmer field schools that farmer field schools are being used by so many organizations, by so many FAO programs, and there's a lot of different levels of quality. So we are trying to find the gaps and trying to bridge those gaps when possible, collaborating with the partners and colleagues. So one of the streams of work that's been interesting to the global platform lately has been the digitalization and ICTs. Of course, it's a very, let's say, modern or contemporary topic that is raising interest. More and more people have access to mobile phones, to internet, everywhere. So there's an opportunity and there are some risks. So last December, just before lockdown and COVID made it quite hard to meet in person, we had a workshop with a few colleagues from the FFS community to try to look at ways in which digital tools and information and communication technologies could support the implementation of good quality farmer field schools. So we figured that there were more or less like 4 streams of work on how these tools could be used to support the good quality of FFS. One of them is supporting the digitalization of monitoring and evaluation. Another one is facilitating the creation of networks across regions, countries, but also just sub-regions and project facilitators, for instance. Another one is basically taking advantage of an improved access to information as is facilitated by these tools, access to information on markets, access to information on practices, etc. And the last one is how these tools could be used to support interactive learning. That is based on the same principles as the FFS, so discovery-based learning. What tools can be used to even strengthen what we already do inside the pharmacy school with our methodology. So as part of this last stream, one of the most interesting things that came up was creating an e-learning course. I saw a comment from Anna who said, like, is there an e-learning course on GFFLS? Not yet, but we are trying to build, as Christina just mentioned, a course on pharmacy school more generically right now. And so this course was also, let's say, an idea that was pushed by a bit by the FAO management, saying that would be quite useful. And so right now we are developing the course together with the e-learning academy in FAO, our colleagues from AFAS, our colleague from DPI, which is the unit that works on developing a lot of projects for FAO with large FFS components, and our colleagues from the Eastern Africa Hub. So the course objective for us, as we saw them, would be to provide a tool that would further strengthen and support the implementation of farmer field schools. So in fact, we are developing 3 different courses. The first one will be more for like policymakers, high-level decision makers who just need a very quick introduction on the farmer field schools, what it is, why it's successful, when it is successful, and like some cases showing the impact that farmer field schools can have. So this course would be very short because we know that they will have less time to take the course. The second course would be targeting FFS managers and or trainers. This one would be focusing on what is in a farmer field school in more depth, going into more depth, but also how to manage a farmer field school program. We thought about the situation where sometimes the manager has a big program which has different components, one of which is FFS, so he may not have like so much time to go through a long training of trainers to understand how everything works, but also someone who might be managing a small FFS project and may not have a lot of experience. And the third course is going to look at farmer field school formulators. So people who formulate farmer field school programs. We noticed looking at the key obstacles to good quality of FFS, that one of the main things was the formulation of a program. If a program is not well formulated, then it's very hard to run it well. It makes it very hard for the people who have to run it to do a good job if the proper items were not included in the budget, if there was not enough time to do the activities, if they didn't include training of trainers, etc. So that's the last course is going to focus on the formulators. At the moment, we have started with the development of the one aiming at FFS managers. So the second course, we are working on it. And the structure of the course is going to follow more or less the guidance document, which is the document that as a broad farmer field school community we published, I think in 2016, now already, quite a few years ago. So it's going to go step by step on the different phases of implementing a farmer field school program, and also what happens inside a farmer field school. So this is, we expect to have the first course ready in the autumn. Hopefully now with August we'll have a little bit of a slowdown. So this is what we will present in a webinar that is now planned for the 9th of September, Wednesday 9th of September, where we will present the actual contents of this course to you. so that we will be able to get some feedback last minute, maybe to tweak some of the aspects, but also hopefully so that then you will be interested in taking the course. I'm just wrapping up. I said I would do a very short presentation, and but I did warn Ori that I always take longer than I say. So there's just three initiatives that we are also doing that are related to digitalization that might be of interest. As I said, we're working on the digitalization of FFS and MNE. A number of countries are trying different solutions to use to do digital monitoring and evaluation. Then we are trying to get some collaboration with to do with videos and how videos can support learning in farmer field schools. In particular, we're about to launch a small pilot with TikTok to see how short TikTok videos may be used to support education inside the FFS, but also outside using the farmer field school experiments and contents. And then the final one is that we would like to develop in the future sort of short training for master trainers and facilitators on how to include, how to use ICTs, how to use basically IT literacy for how to find the right information, how to be critically assessing which information, where to get it, etc., as more people have access to mobiles, and to improve how these opportunities used for the development of sustainable farming. So I'll stop here. I'm very happy to take any questions, and thank you so much for your time.